Good day. You're watching Republic Nation News. I'm Kelly Giles, Randall County Republican Chairman, and I'm here today with Dallas McKibben. And Dallas is running for County Court at Law #1 here in Randall County. So, Dallas, welcome to you.
Thank you.
Well, good. And we're going to be visiting with Dallas about what he sees coming in the race. So, Dallas, to get started, tell us a little bit about your history in Amarillo, your family. What do you got going?
Well, so to start with, I'm not an Amarillo native, but about as close as I can be without being born here. When I was 2 years old, we moved here to Amarillo from Lubbock, and I went to Western Plateau, then Bonham, then Amarillo High, and then I stayed here and went to WT for college.
Okay.
Then after college, I went to Fort Worth, went to law school at Texas.
What law school?
Texas Wesleyan University School of Law. It's now Texas A&M School of Law. But went down there for 3 years and loved it, but then quickly moved on back. All my family's here. So as much as I might not have liked the smell sometimes, it's home and it's family, and it's
that's
wonderful
the smell of money.
It is. I mean, we don't have as much oil wells here, so we smell the cows. We know it's money.
Yeah.
But it's a wonderful place and a great place to raise family and to raise kids, and the people are just wonderful here.
So you have wife and children?
I do. I'm married, and we have yours, mine, and ours. So we have 7 kids between us. I had 3, she had 3, and then we have one between us that's he'll be 4 next month.
Yeah, I've met the young man.
Yeah. You can't say little because he's not little for being 4. He's a huge little boy, but he's gonna be a big one. But so we have that, and then we have a grandbaby and 2. A daughter-in-law and a son-in-law, and then all of my family's here. My sister and brother-in-law, and they've got 3 kids and another baby on the way through one of my nieces. And my parents are here. I've got my family's here. My parents, my sister and brother-in-law, their kids. My niece is expecting a baby, so that's a huge blessing for us. And we've got lots of kids around us right now. I've got my 4-year-old, my grandson's 3, and then my sister-in-law, she has a 3-year-old also. So we got lots of little kids around us. Big family. Yeah. We have one in every single grade at Amarillo High right now. So.
All right. Well, we know where your money goes now.
Yes.
Well, tell us a little bit about your law career and what you've been practicing over the years.
So I've done a little bit of everything. I've always been primarily in criminal law. I started out when I came back to town. I went to work at the Potter County Attorney's Office, and while I was there, I did protective orders and CPS work. I was prosecutor for CPS, one of the 2, and then I did all of the protective orders. Did that for about 20 months, and it really, really good experience because that's a civil matter. So you learn the civil code and practices and all that, plus the family code. But you're working in a criminal environment and with the criminal guys, and I did some misdemeanor prosecutions as well. Not very many, but a few. So then after all that, then I went out really on my own. And I'd say 60 to 80% of my practice always has been criminal defense since then.
Okay.
With the rest rounded out, doing family law, doing a little bit of civil litigation, a few cases here and there that came through, just of all kinds. Probate, wills, getting a will probated for someone, or writing a will for someone, writing contracts for someone.
Okay, so that's a question I've always had. So tell me, what does that mean to probate a will. So just walk us through the steps on that.
Well, so you kind of got to go back a little bit better and maybe say that everybody has a will, whether you've written one or not.
Mm-hmm.
Either the state of Texas wrote one,
Right.
in which case you're intestate, or you actually wrote one. Now, if you wrote one, then it's not a hard process of getting it probated for most people. If it's not really contested, you know, a couple of affidavits and whatnot, send them down. Judge reviews it, and you get your letters testamentary, and go from there.
So the estate can proceed.
Yeah. So that
Okay.
you know, if Mama's got money in the bank and you need to go get it out, you got to have those letters testamentary to go get it out.
Right.
And there's other ways that it can be done without that. For smaller things, a car, you can do affidavits and maybe get a car transferred and whatever. And that's all I've really dealt with is the simple, uncontested, we just need this will probated, need letters testamentary, need to go get the money out of the bank, get the money out of the stock market, distribute it, and go
Okay.
on.
So tell me a little bit about the criminal clients that you've had. What kind of cases have you been exposed to?
Well, so just about everything. I did, for a long time, I focused on really just state jail and third-degree felonies, and then slowly expanded out into first-degree and second-degree felonies. So from there, I've had everything from murders on down, all the way down to traffic tickets. So I've handled all of them, everything. I remember one time I told another attorney, I said, you know, I don't know that I ever want to defend a murder case. And she looked at me, and she was an old prosecutor, and I better not say old, because if she knows who she is, and she's not my age, but she was a prosecutor for a long time.
There we go.
So she looked at me, she said, Dallas, you do all these assault with a deadly weapon, or all these cases. It's no different. It's the same case. I said, I know that, but, and it, you know, made me step back and think that it's just, there's not much difference between an ag assault with a deadly weapon and a murder, except someone died, which is a horrible thing, of course.
Right.
But so you learn and you grow progressively as you go through life.
How many years have you practiced that kind of law?
So 20 years
Okay.
at
20 years
criminal
experience.
defense. Yeah.
Okay.
22 years as an attorney, be 23 in May.
Okay. And you've done probate. What about civil? What kind of civil cases have you done?
I've done a number of different civil, from business to business, from, you know, such as I had one that was relating to a radio tower for a radio station, and the licensing, and they were trying to sell the radio tower, and then they said, no, it wasn't. You didn't do everything you were supposed to buy it right, because you moved this tower, and a bunch of really confusing regulations from the FCC that I didn't want to get into. And thank goodness the guy had an attorney that was an FCC attorney that could help me understand it. On down to your simple personal injury, you know, car crash matters, where someone gets hit by a drunk driver and is really hurt, and the insurance doesn't want to pay maybe what they should. So I've had both extremes on that with civil, which, you know, like with County Court 1 that I'll be in, it's capped, so you're not going to have huge personal injury lawsuit necessarily. But another thing I've done a lot of is debt collection from both ends. I've handled it for the credit card companies, and I've handled it for people. for citizens that had a credit card and got behind. And those, they typically fall in the JP court, but if the JP court makes a decision and the person wants to appeal it, it goes to the county court. So you are effectively the appellate court for that, even though you just start over brand new. So it's like a brand new trial at the county court, but it's an appeal from a JP. But I've handled those from both sides as well. And
So we get into, all right, so 23 years experience. You're pretty well embedded in the community for a good part of your life, and you've got a lot of family activity going on. So if you could, so this is more of a philosophical question: is what is your vision for being judge of County Court Law 1? What's your philosophy? What kind of judge do you want to be? How do you see that? How do you see yourself in that spot?
Right. So to me, county court judge has a huge ability to change lives. And all courts do, of course. I mean, if you're a district court and you have the ability to send someone to prison for the rest of their life, you're changing their life drastically. But I look at it slightly different. County court deals with misdemeanors and family law. That's their two main areas. A little bit of civil, really not much probate going to hit there. But so if you look at it, family law and misdemeanors as the primary things they do, from what I've seen, working through misdemeanors, lower level felonies, upper level felonies, there's a lot of progression to get up to those as you go up. Most people start out at misdemeanors as far as committing their crimes. Mm-hmm. There's always outliers. And of course, if you get to murders, it for sure can be, because you have some heat of passion and whatnot issues in there. But if you take someone that has maybe a drug or alcohol problem, mm-hmm. there's a good chance they're going to get heard by a misdemeanor court before they get heard ever in a district court.
Okay. That might be something. So a misdemeanor court or a county court mm-hmm. versus a district court. Could you give us just a little bit of how they're different? Just a basic lesson on how those two courts are different.
So they're different in what they can hear. A county court can hear misdemeanors, items up to a year in jail. District court would hear the felonies. So a state jail felony carries punishment 6 months to 2 years in jail. So that's going to go to the district court. Or a third, second, first, or capital murder. Mm-hmm. Any of those are going to go into the district court. If you get over the threshold of the couple $100,000, $250,000, and as it's gone up now, on a civil suit, that would go into district court.
Okay.
So the simplest way to say would be maybe the smaller cases stay in county court, the bigger cases go to district court. But when it comes to family law, it doesn't break that way. Okay. It's equal jurisdiction amongst both. So a divorce can go to county court or to district court.
Okay.
And you can hear that as a county court at law judge, the divorce or the custody matter, child support, any of that stuff. Now, we have a great group of associate judges in the area. We have a judge that just handles child support. We have two judges, one for Potter County, one for Randall County, and they both go out to the surrounding areas that they handle most all of the CPS work and hear that. Now, if it's needing to be a final trial on a CPS matter, more than likely it's going to end up in the county court.
Okay.
And you're the one that oversees that.
So a lot of family law.
A lot of family law, and then a lot of criminal law.
Okay.
And like I say, to go back to kind of what we were saying a minute ago, if you have a client, or not a client, but a individual that is maybe having a problem with drugs or alcohol or something, they're going to end up in that misdemeanor court, in a county court, more than likely, before they hit a district court. That's the opportunity for that person to adjust their life. And either they're going to take one of the two paths in their life forward, into crime or into being a productive member of society. So I've tried really hard with all of my clients to make sure that I leave them better than when they came to me.
Okay.
And I'd want to carry that forward as a judge. Make sure that I make a just ruling for them, and a ruling that benefits society and benefits them, hopefully, because them being a productive member of society is far better for us than as a criminal. Now, I'm saying as like how you treat this person, that is, if they're guilty, if they're found guilty. And that's not a given. Just the fact you're arrested does not mean you're guilty of the crime. But when it does come to that they are guilty, then you want to do what you can to help them become a better member of society. And the same with family law. If you have a family that's splitting up, it could be for a number of different reasons. We've all known people to get divorced. Sometimes it's over drugs or alcohol or gambling or pornography or anything like that. Sometimes it's just that two people drift apart. End of the day, it's about the kids, and we want to think about the kids more than anybody else. Most divorces involve kids. Those that don't, that's wonderful. That's a lot easier to deal with, because then it's just money, and we all care about our money, but it's, end of the day, it's the kids. That's who we really care about in a divorce.
And how? Let me ask a quick question. So in your decision or contemplation of how to handle child custody, do you how do you pull those resources? Are you pulling them from statistical data as far as the time with the father and the time with the mother? Is that coming from statistical data that the state is supplying you, or how do you apply that? I guess that's a good question.
So one part of it is, just like we were saying about probate, and you've got a will written, even if you don't have one, the legislature wrote one for you.
Right.
You've got a custody decree written right now, whether you need one or not. Under most situations, we have what is known as the standard possession order. That's what everybody knows. First, third, and fifth weekends of the month, every Thursday, and then it's just little tweaks maybe from there. And that's, generally speaking, what happens. Okay. You have leeway. It's the standard for a judge is the best interest of the child. What is in the best interest of the child? And it may be that the best interest of the child is to be with dad. It may be that it's to be with mom. It's almost a splitting hairs type thing a lot of times, because the amount of time spent with one or the other it's marginally different when you actually go into the calculating it up.
Well, what we want in families, we want children to have both a mother and a father in their lives that love them and care about them. and hopefully they can find a way to stay together.
Yep.
I just think it's interesting. In 2018, the state of Kentucky changed that ruling that the standard rule would be that the mother took custody of them for 1 week, and then the father got them for 1 week. Mm-hmm. That was the standard. And there was no child support other than if you could come up with special reasons for that or special agreements between the two. But in doing that, when they went to that, since 2018, so this is 2026, so it's 8 years, the divorce rate in Kentucky's gone down 25%. So I think there's something to be said for when we get to that sovereign and just issue that we have to continually look at statistics. And there's a lot of information out there that children raised with a father figure in their lives showed no difference in their IQ capability, in their emotional health. But unfortunately, so ladies, don't kill me, but without a father in their life, it was a much different story. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think we have to be really careful about anything that cuts a father out of the children's lives, because statistical data shows that the kids don't do so well, because that father is that leadership role model, and is that what I want to say, that guidance from our Heavenly Father. We get it as well. But anyway, I just thought that was some interesting data that came out, and that the mindset is changing, mm-hmm. because we know that divorce rate's about 55% of all marriages. So when we look at that, at what Kentucky's done in the changes they made to their family law, they decreased the divorce rate by 25%. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's something we have to take into account, that a lot of divorces are not just about money. And maybe in many cases they are just about money, but it always goes back to control, and so that creates other problems. But anyway, that was just a little side benefit I had there. So you're going to be facing family law in your court, and we think that Randall County is a great place. And one thing, I want to thank you, and I want to thank everybody that's running out there, everybody that's running for the position, that we appreciate you, because mm-hmm. you're a very good candidate, and you obviously care very much about this position. You're sinking your money and your effort and your time and your family into running, and so we appreciate that. But Dallas, so we're coming to a close here. What is something that you would like us more to know about you, or your vision, or part of your life that you'd like us to know?
I don't know on that one. No, it's, well, I think kind of to go back to what you were just saying, and that is, our divorce rate is entirely too high. Mm-hmm. And the primary reason for that is because our religious rate is not quite as high as it should be.
That's a good point.
I mean, I've been a Christian my whole life. When I was 13 years old, we started going to St. Stephen's Methodist, and my preacher actually lives right across the street from me, and that baptized me and baptized my mom back in 1990, and it's been a part of my life from that day forward. Came by my dad's businesses that I worked at growing up and continually, and it's just my relationships and my friends and everybody in my life, we are Christians. And I'm not saying you have to be a Christian necessarily, but having religion in your life, having a higher power, whatever you want to call
guidance.
It. Yes. And just like with me, when I go to bed at night, I lay there and I pray for a few minutes, whether it's prayer, whether it's meditation, whatever it is that you're kind of getting out of your own head and going to someone else, going to that father figure. It makes such a difference. And I'm a person of laws, and there's one book out there that has a bunch of laws in it that's really, really good and really tells us how to live our life, and that's the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can stay in it more and maybe out of TikTok a little bit, then I think we're a little better off as a person. So I don't know if I answered your question or if I kind of went off on a tangent, but no, I think that caring about God, caring about Jesus, those are two things that one thing.
They're very
very important to me, and it's very fundamental to how you live your life and how you're going to be as a person. So, it's being an attorney or soon to be, hopefully, a judge it's a high stress situation. You're not going to see the divorces where the husband and wife get along and say, yeah, this is what we're going to do with the kids. They're going to walk in there with an agreed decree and say, here we go. Wonderful. That's what we want for kids. We see the ones where mom can't stand dad, dad can't stand mom, mom can't stand dad's new girlfriend, dad doesn't like mom's new boyfriend, all this, and they get so locked up in themselves and they forget about the kids. And someone has to step back and say, wait, y'all need to attend this parenting class. Y'all need to get yourselves out of this situation and get your kids back in this situation. They're the lead. They're what you have left of this marriage and what we care about.
Absolutely.
So
very good.
If we can avoid the divorce, terrific. But in some cases they need to happen, unfortunately. And I'm an anti-divorce person, but we have to have it. I mean, like I said, I used to do protective orders and had a number of different cases that were married that he or she, I had a few that were the woman as the abuser, not very many, but was just, I can't say the word on camera, and I had some that ended up killing their spouse, even after that protective order. And it's just, that's hard on you. But,
sounds like you're well seasoned, and I appreciate you being here and letting us talk you through this and getting to know you and getting to know your inner thoughts and your soul. We appreciate that very much, Dallas. And we're so happy you're here, and we wish you the best of luck in running for County Court of Law, number 1 in Randall County. And any last thing you want to say to the voters out there?
I don't really think so. Go to DallasMcKibben.com if you want to learn a little more about me. And that's really it, Kelly. Thank you very much for emceeing this.
You bet.
And I appreciate it.
You bet. All right. Thank you.